Hello friends, this is your astrologer Punit Pandey. I am returning back on Astrology TV after a long time, and today I want to bring an amazing video to you. Today's topic is Learn KP System in 5 minutes. This is going to be a path-breaking video, and I believe that something like this has never appeared on internet before. After watching this video, astrology enthusiasts will be able to utilize astrology for their day-to-day matters, to predict job, for predict health and so on. And astrologers, they'll also benefit. And they'll benefit in a way that they'll improve their predictive skills. They are already using some system, and with the addition of KP system in their kitty, they'll be able to predict better. So this video is going to be a useful video in that sense. There are many systems in astrology, many systems. You would already know some. You would have heard like KP, Tajik, Gemini, Western, Lal Kitab, Parashari and so on. There are so many systems. And among these, KP is considered easy to apply, simple and accurate. So among these systems, KP has advantage, and I generally say that KP system is more suited for 21st century person who cannot remember so many shlokas and the one who wants a systematic approach. When will one get married? When will one get job? When it will rain today? When will power resume? These are some important questions of our daily life, and KP system is an excellent system to answer such questions. If somebody will tell you that you will get married and so on so date, precisely the date, you will get married on such a date, or suppose your child is gone out to school and somebody tells you that the child will return at X hour, Y minute and Z second, precisely up to the second, you will be surprised. Oh, you will say that this is some kind of a miracle. But that is the beauty of KP system. And after 5 minutes, you will be able to do it yourself. You will be able to predict yourself with such accuracy. People will charge thousands of rupees to tell this to you. And still, they will not tell you the true one. They will only tell you the modified and corrupted version. The true version is going to be revealed in front of you today. The true KP system. And that too in a language that you can understand. In a simple and easy language. I am happy that I am able to bring this episode with the help of Astrology TV. So, what we are waiting for? Let's begin. KP system is very easy. Probably the easiest among the systems that I named earlier. Very easy. And I have made 5 principles which summarize KP system. And I'll tell you these principles to you today. With these 5 principles, you will be able to predict all events of your life, your friend's life, your family member's life. And here are those 5 rules. These rules are very important, so listen carefully. Rule number 1. Other than its own results, a planet also gives the result of its nakshatra lord. This is the rule number 1. Rule number 2. 12th house from any house negates the results of that house. So, If 10th house is the house of job, then 9th house, being the 12th from the 10th, is going to hinder the prospect of the job, going to create problems in the job. Rule number 3. All the results are decided by not a single house but a group of house. Rule number 4. Sublord of a planet qualifies the result of that planet. Without the permission of the sublord, no planet can give results. No planet can give its own results. And the last, 5th rule is, cuspal sublord tells you whether the event is promised or not in a birth chart, in a chart. So this is the rule number 5. These are the 5 rules which you will be able to predict accurately. And once you understand this, you are done. You have learned KP system. Now you can go back and predict with accuracy everything, marriage, job, etc. You will say, that's it. Only 5 rules. And you are saying, I learned KP system. My answer is yes. Yes, you learned KP system. You will not only be able to predict marriage, job, but all events, major or minor, of your life. So you are done, you learned it. Now, let me explain each rule with some example, which will make it easy to understand. I am taking a divorce case as an example. This is a chart of a person born on 10th of October 1976, 2:30 a.m. in Calcutta. You can see the chart on the screen. Now let me explain, and let me start with the rule number 5. What was the rule? Rule is that cuspal sublord tells whether the event is promised or not. In astrology, 7th house is the primary house of marriage, and probably you already know this. In our example chart, 7th house cuspal sublord is Saturn. You can see that. And this Saturn is situated in 12th house. What is the 12th house? It is the house of isolation, it is the house of separation, it is the house of trouble, etc. Saturn also owns 6th house in this chart, which is the house of separation and divorce. Why? Why is the 6th house a house for divorce and separation? The answer lies in the rule number 2. Remember that? What was the rule? The rule was 12th house from any house negates the result of that house. 7th house is the house of marriage. We know that. When we count 12 from 7, what comes out? It comes out 6th house. And hence 6th house negates the results given by the 7th house. 7th house gives us marriage. So 6th house gives us break in marriage, divorce, separation, etc. So 6th house being 12th from the 7th nullifies all the results of the 7th house. This is an important rule, and we must always remember that. Coming back to the question of promise. What is promised in the birth chart and what is not? Now, it is very clear that the chart shows promise of divorce, because cuspal sublord of 7th house owns 6th house and occupies 12th house. We already know the person is divorced, but this also proves very clearly from the birth chart. You would ask that you are talking about promises of divorce. What about the promises of marriage? Was marriage promised in this chart at all? How she got married at very first place? And now the rule number 1 comes into the picture. What was the rule number 1? Remember that? The rule was that a planet, other than giving its own results, give results of its nakshatra lord. So, this rule highlights the importance of the nakshatra lord. Planet and planet's nakshatra lord, both collectively, result of both the planets collectively are called signification of that planet in KP system. So planet's own results and planet's nakshatra lord's results collectively are called signification of the first planet. So when we have to see promise of marriage, we have to see not only the placement of cuspal sublord of 7th house, but we also need to see nakshatra lord of that planet, nakshatra lord of the cuspal sublord. Together we need to see, and then we need to decide what all things are promised pertaining to that house, pertaining to 7th house in the birth chart. In our example chart, Saturn is situated in Mercury's nakshatra. Mercury owns 2nd house of family and 11th house of fulfillment of desire, happiness, etc. So, as 7th house cuspal sublord is situated in nakshatra of Mercury, it also promises marriage. Isn't that simple? It looks like very simple to me. Due to Saturn's connection with 6 and 12 houses, the chart shows divorce. And due to the Saturn's connection with 2nd and 11th house, chart shows marriage. Both the promises are there. The promise of marriage and promise of divorce. I hope now you understand how to predict what events are promised in a chart and what are not. In this case, the marriage and divorce both were present, but in most of the chart you may find that marriage is promised due to sublord of 7th house signifying positive houses, and divorce is not. So now I hope you can predict all these events. Another important question in life is of when. Let's see how to find out when was the native got married. And listen carefully, because once you understand it, once you understand timing of event, you will be able to predict all major and minor events of your life, your friend, family's life, and etc. Job, marriage, diseases, everything. And to answer this question of timing, to answer this question of when, we need to remember rule number 3. What was that rule number 3? The rule number 3 was results are decided by not a single house but a group of houses. I hope you remember that. This was the rule number 3. For example, marriage happens when one gets dasha of the planets connected with the houses 7th, and you know 7th is the house, primary house for marriage. Second is the primary house for family happiness, and 11th house, which is the general house for fulfillment of desire, happiness, etc. So, unlike classical astrology, where 7th house is given primary importance for marriage, in KP, a group of houses, and generally these are the three houses. Sometimes it can be more, sometimes it can be less, but generally these are the three houses which are given preference for deciding timing of any event. For marriage, house group is house number 2nd, house number 7 and house number 11. So 2nd, 7th and 11th, these three constitute house grouping for marriage. For other event of life, there are different house groupings, different combinations, and an exhaustive list of all house groups are given on KP Astrology Wiki. You can go to a KP Astrology Wiki and you can use those house grouping for predicting other events of life like job, diseases, health issues and etc. Coming back to the question of marriage of this example native happened in June 2002, and in June 2002 you can see in the chart Mahadasha of planet Sun and Antardasha of planet Mercury was operating. I am not going to Pratyantar Dasha and Sukshma etc., but you can apply the same logic. Mahadasha Lord Sun is situated in 2nd house, which is the one of the houses in the house grouping 2, 7, 11 for marriage, and the Antardasha Lord Mercury, you can see that it owns house 2nd and house 11, and again these two houses are part of the house grouping for marriage. What is the house grouping for marriage? 2, 7, 11, and 2nd and 11, these are the part of the house grouping for marriage. No wonder person got married in Sun Mahadasha and Mercury Antardasha. This makes very easy. So you can decide all the planets which are connected with the house grouping for marriage, that is 2, 7, 11, those planets are capable to give marriage in their periods, in their dashas. Dasha, Antardasha, Pratyantar Dasha and Sukshma etc. I hope you understand it now. Before I close, I want to remind that KP system follows calculation which are slightly different from traditional astrology. For example, KP uses Western style of house division and KP Ainansh. Unlike traditional astrology which uses a Rashi chart and Chalit chart and Lahiri Ainansh, Chitrapakshi Ainansh and so on. So, for all calculations for KP system and for your predictions based on KP system, you should use www.astrosage.com or mykundli.com, and because these sites, these softwares are based on KP system. You can also use our mobile software Astrosage Kundli or use any other software which gives calculation according to KP system and not a classical astrology software. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something from this video. Till next time, bye bye, happy learning.